Hey, this is a response video to Thomas at Merciful Metal. He did a VC challenge for the biggest metal year in your collection. I've watched a couple of those out there already. Great idea. It made me start thinking, made me start going through the collection. And I do have everything in Discogs, but still a little hard to find because I then also catalog it in different folders. I think everything, after it all boils down to, it's pretty close to a tie with 1987 and 1985, with 1987 having a slight edge. I tried not to use any comps. No EP, no 12-inch singles, but I did use LPs, EPs, and live. Hard rock and metal. We're going to focus on metal only here. With metal and hard rock, I had 114 in 1987, and I had 112 in 1985. Probably some duplicates in there. I felt it a little hard sometimes too, going through those lists, realizing that there are certain titles that I have double pressings of, or a repress and an original, and trying to sort that out. So that's why I say it's probably a tie. I'm going to pick 1987. I was 19 years old in 1987. And it was a big year for some very, very good metal. Couple things started shifting a little bit in metal. You know, thrash started coming around. Probably one of the very first European power metal records showed up there. So let's get to it. Let's show some records here. I have 10. I broke them up into 3 groups of 3 plus the 1. The 1, if you know, you know. We're going to start with the 3. I've got 3 records that everyone knows. I've got 3 records that everyone should know. And then I've got 3 kind of obscure ones and the 1. So let's start here with 3 that everybody should know. And this thing needs no introduction. Halloween. Probably one of the first European power metal bands that introduced a whole genre back in the day. This is my German pressing here, original. Just a fantastic record. There's not a bad note on this thing here. Total shredding killer album. Number 2 that everyone should know. U.S. power metal. Here is my original Savatage, Hall of the Mountain King. I mean, this thing here introduced orchestral arrangements in the U.S. metal. Might even have been one of the first ones to do so with Hall of the Mountain King. What a album this was. Just outstanding. Not much of an inner sleeve for it, so no lyrics or anything, but original pressing, 1987. Put these together later. And another one that came out, we were all very familiar with, Merciful Fate. And then 1986, you know, Fatal Portrait, and then this thing here followed in 1987. And what an album this was. Just a fantastic metal record. My original U.S. pressing, lyrics, and the first inner sleeve. There's a different inner sleeve also for this in the U.S. So that's 3 records that everyone knows. These next 3 are records that everyone should know. Strangely enough, all 3 of these are debut records. The first one, and this thing blew me away back in the day, and I was hooked on this one from day one. A phenomenal thrash metal record. Thrash, speed. These young kids out of San Francisco. Lyrics. Enigma Records back in the day was they were good with all the metal, and this thing just shreds from top to the bottom. What else came in 1987? Sacred Reich, another debut, fantastic thrash record. Original pressing, Metal Blade, lyrics, and inner. Both Death Angel, Sacred Reich, still around to this day. Though Sacred Reich I don't think is real active. And another one that I pulled, Heathen, Breaking the Silence. This was 1987, their debut records. This is Combat Records. Original pressing, nice inner. The back of that. And this one had a cover song that struck me. This was a very good cover song. Set Me Free, a song that was originally done by Sweet in 1973, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody knows, just put it in the comments below. So there was 3 records that everyone should know. Now, how about 3 obscurities? Made a few notes there too. These guys formed in 1984 in New Jersey. This is their second album called Destined for Extinction. This is Blessed Death. I remember seeing this cover and just thought that was pretty neat and bought it for just that reason. I was familiar with them from their first record, which was Megaforce Records in 1984 or 1985. That was one of the original Megaforce silver label pressings. These guys just look thrash all around. New Jersey band. They did have a third record that came out in 2006, but it was recorded in 1991. So the band fell apart. US Roadrunner. Lyrics, and this is a little bit similar to what their very first record was like, the Kill or Be Killed. So great thrash, speed metal band, New Jersey. You know, never made it past this, unfortunately. They were at the height of the entry to thrash, and then fell apart for whatever reason. So this next one is also their debut record, and is EXE. I remember just seeing this cover, horrible as it is. I think it was in the cutout bins from day one. Look at the back. Look at these guys. Look at their names too. They're from New York. This was their debut record. The hype sticker. Thrash with class. Kind of funny. They even had a merchandise sheet, very generic looking, and there's the lyrics they put on one sheet of paper. So definitely they were on a budget. You know, they're a little different, but they were good. It was almost speed metal, but good stuff. They had one more record that came, I I don't know, 1990 or so, and then that was it. There's been nothing from these guys since. But yeah, check this out if you've never heard of it. I believe, I know High Roller just did some reissues of both of them. I don't have the first one, so I think that'll be something I'll pick up from High Roller at a later date. So this other band from Chicago, Zoetrope, A Life of Crime. These guys formed in 1976. This is their second of 3 albums. The first one was Amnesty on Combat Records in 1985. And then this one here came in 87. There's the guys right there. Barry Stern, he was a big part of that band. This is kind of a, I'll do this, see how it, it's kind of a die cut. So it kind of has the Chicago mob looking pictures. So it's kind of a neat. Al Capone, and then you can switch it around for and there, that the Amnesty, that was on their very first record. So and here they are, Wanted Guys, A Life of Crime. And the Combat label. They had one more record in 93. I forget what the name of it was. Mind Over Splatter, something like that. That's one I don't have. 93, at that point, I think vinyl was dead here in the States. And I never had the CD, so. Something for a later date to fill collection holes, right? Because after all, it is just one more record, I promise. So the last one, the 10th record, which is, if you know me, Overkill. Got to get the plug in for Overkill. And 1987, their third record, second, or is it the third? I think the band counts the EP from 1984 as their first full, and then Feel the Fire came, and then this one here in 87. So I kind of go with the third album, but yeah, this thing needs no introduction. Overkill, what a tremendous band they have been. Saw them here this past November in a club in Detroit. So, and the lyrics, small print, a little hard to read, but you know, not terrible. This was a this one's going to be a little slightly different label than some. I believe there's a different label out there too, but center label. Just all black, Megaforce. This is when Atlantic first took this one on, the band on. They came off of the Megaforce silver labels again. So again, Overkill, my favorite thrash band of all time. So there we go. 10 records, metal records from a year that is probably one of the highest ones in my collection, 1987. So